From the stage to the sidelines, and now from his studio, which is really his basement, it's time for Blevins Nation podcast. All rock, all football, all the time. Life, it's what happens. Now here's your host, Coach B.
Well, I'm so badass. Yeah, so badass. And I stole these 3 chords from Tom Petty. So won't you stay with me and give me a Grammy?
Hello, it's time for another episode of Blevins Nation podcast. Would like to welcome to the show one crazy dude. He wrangles alligators. He wrangles snakes. Hell, he's even walked naked with bees. Please welcome my next guest, Charles Wieand, host of his own show, Wild Charles. All right, I have Charles Wieand here on the telephone and on the podcast show tonight. And he is a comedian. You still do stand-up, or you just... A
comedian, daredevil, travel host, goofball.
Goofball. Right. Well, very cool. Yeah, I've like I said, I've been watching your videos, and man, the Gaboon Viper. Holy sh! That's just.
Now that is my friend Albert with the Gaboon Viper there, and he's even crazier than I am.
Oh my God! I know. I mean, he's just reaches right over in there and picks it up. You know.
Yeah. So my show is it's not just about me. It's also about my wild and crazy friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Albert is about as wild as you get. Yeah.
Yeah. I've watched a couple episodes of on him. So yeah, very cool. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How'd you I guess you got started in comedy first, stand up, and then went to.
No. Actually, I started doing these videos, and I was kind of just like doing outdoor type videos. And at first, I was kind of my uncle actually had a outdoor show on the Outdoorsman channel at one point in time, and I just started making videos, kind of like doing a little poking fun at that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I started out just like I was like, hey, Uncle Jim, this is how I would make my show if I was going to make it, you know. So just kind of making my own show.
Yeah.
And it always had a little bit of a comedy element to it.
Okay.
And I kind of expanded that as I went along to kind of expand out a little bit of comedy alongside of, like, you know, your general, hey, we're wrangling alligators and that sort of thing. So, and then I'm a goofball. I'm just naturally a goofball. Okay. So the comedy thing just kind of flowed.
Okay.
So sometimes I'm doing stuff where it's wild animal interactions or up close things that's almost stuntish kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And other times I'll do an SNL kind of parody kind of stuff. And I do some funny songs, and I do stand up, and basically I'm just putting I guess to get me is it's wild show. It's wild comedy. It's wild people. It's wild travel. It's just wild things, doing wild things, you know, and wild animals. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I have seen a couple of your videos with you playing the guitar and singing stuff. So that's one thing.
Yeah, somebody called me like the singing Steve Irwin.
Okay, very cool.
I don't know if that fits or not. I don't know if it. I just like to entertain people. I love animals. That's a big part of my show. But it's also comedy and travel and entertaining people. So.
Okay, very cool. Yeah. That was one of the things that I got. Hold on a second. Sorry, my dog had to come in my room and start prancing around.
The dog wants to be a guest on the show. Get the dog.
Oh yeah.
Get the dog on the mic.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing. 'Cause, you know, my podcast show is mainly about, you know, rock music, football, and then of course life. and being life and everything. I saw one of your videos, Wild Charles, and then I also saw something you play guitar. So I was like, hey, I need to get this guy on the show.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot. I played a lot of guitar today, even, man. I am right now. I am in it's Mustang Beach.
Mustang
Texas.
Beach, yeah,
Mustang
I saw
Island,
that.
Texas.
I
Mustang
saw that
Island,
today.
and I'm actually I got my camper van parked right on the beach right now. And that's been a good time today doing some jamming on the guitar. So yeah.
Very cool.
And then I just got if you want to talk music, I just got back from South by Southwest down in Austin. Caught some cool shows there. So
yeah, I bet. Were you just down there doing that, or were you doing any kind of shows yourself, or
I did
promoting?
some stand-up in Austin,
Okay.
and then I did some stand-up in Austin. It wasn't related to South by Southwest, but it was at the Capitol Comedy Club there, and then I popped into South by Southwest and caught some cool bands. Dorothy is it's kind of a bluesy band that I really like, and Wellesley Arms, if you know them, they're actually from Cleveland area.
Oh,
they got
okay.
a big hit on it's called Legendary.
Okay.
It's out, so yeah. But that was a good time too. So.
Oh yeah, and you had messaged me and told me that you wanted to hold off till this week to do the show because you were at South by Southwest.
Yeah, it was too much. It was too much excitement down there, man. It was too much.
Well, I used to be a musician back in the day, and I actually played at South by Southwest a few years ago, and I know how it is.
Did you? That's awesome.
Oh my God, it's
that's cool.
Man, it's a lot going on. We played. We were there 2 days, and I think played 4 or 5 different bars. So nothing ever came out of it. But hey, it was fun.
I know some of those musicians down there were doing, 5, 6 shows. Like just at different places because there's so many venues. It's just an insane number of venues down there.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's got music going on during that time. So. Yeah, well, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, Albert, I'm sitting here watching this video, and Albert is just, dude, that guy is sick. The rattlesnake necklace.
So Albert,
what the hell?
For the people that are listening, Albert is my crazy friend who does venomous snake wrangling. I've been learning some stuff from him, but Albert lets rattlesnakes crawl over his body with no protection, and he hand feeds gaboon vipers, which is one of the fastest striking snakes on the planet. And he wrangles king cobras, and all. He is an amazing, incredible guy. The guy has been he lives with 60 venomous snakes. He lives in a little kind of hut with 60 venomous snakes. But he's a character too. Funny guy. So go out and check out the episode of Wild Charles on that, because Albert is it's incredible. I'm never going to be able to do that with venomous snakes. No, Albert is the man. I don't know anybody on the planet, anybody that on the planet can do what he does, or be crazy enough to do, even if they could.
Oh, I know. There's a couple of videos like of you picking up the the rattlesnake with the with the that stick and everything, and then also the king cobra, same place.
Yeah, snake hooks. Yep.
Yeah, and and even the guys that are just really good at it would never do what Albert's doing right now, especially with a hand feed.
Wear it around your neck like a necklace? No, no. Nobody does that.
Oh my God! But
only Albert does that. I'm going to be filming another episode with Albert with the King Cobra in a couple months here, so Albert's going to be back. So,
now, where is Albert?
There'll be a lot more Albert. Albert's down in the Miami area.
Miami, okay.
Homestead. Homestead, yep, Homestead. And I'll actually, at the end of this journey here across the country, I'm going to be down there as well. So, yeah.
Okay.
I
tell you what.
Down the pipeline.
Watching the episode with him feeding the gaboon viper, man, that snake has the markings on it is so beautiful. I mean,
yeah, it is a beautiful snake. Now I can't believe he had me pull out the thing on that one.
Oh, I haven't
that
even,
episode. I don't know if you got to that point.
I don't think I've gotten to that point yet. Holy no.
Yeah,
No.
like there's a part in that episode where basically the fangs actually fall out after they sometimes they bite into they'll actually kind of like go sideways, so they'll actually eventually fall out. But he actually had me pull out the one thing because it was broken.
Oh my god!
Of a kaboom viper.
Did you use
Now, I
a
had
tool?
the tweezers, like,
Okay,
it was yeah. Look, I did, but it was an insane experience where Albert is holding the thing. It's got that rat in its mouth.
Oh my god! Well, you know what?
Trying to pull out a fang. Yeah, it's incredible.
I had it on that part. I guess I just missed that when. But I mean, looking
yeah,
at
no, that's in there towards the end. It's towards the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the creepiest
but,
looking snake from the face. I mean, and those little air things that pop up every once in a while.
Yeah.
On its top. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you saw the one with me underwater with the anaconda.
Yeah, I was just fixing to mention
but that's one of my. Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about that.
That was. Oh well, so I can hold my breath for about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And
now, did you practice for that?
How did I practice with that?
No, I said, did you practice for that?
Oh yeah, I practiced for that, and originally I was learning actually so that I could do more underwater gator handling.
Okay.
And then I did the anaconda thing afterward. So, but basically, I trained myself to basically be able to hold my breath for up to 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And we did an underwater video with anaconda. And one of the things I wanted to show at that video was anaconda's kind of got a bad rap from that the movie, right? Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And I wanted something that where people would see and they would like, wow, that's just absurd. And I don't remember what the bad guy in that movie was, but there's one spot in that video where it looks almost exactly like where the one guy's getting wrapped up and strangled. But anacondas, when you work with them, they can be really friendly. They can actually, I mean, at any time, they're always a chance that they can get ticked off. Everybody has bad days, right?
Oh yeah.
But
definitely.
they can, if you work with them. I mean, just like alligators. I mean, if you work with them, they can
tend to be snappy.
I mean, I've seen alligators that that you just scratch them under the chin and stuff, and you like a dog, So it's and I like to do that kind of thing. I like it when one of the things I like in my videos is where I do a video and some people are like, she should have died in that video, and nothing happens because it's hilarious and over the top, but it's also like a kind of WTF kind of moment. But it's over the top, but it's also showing that the animals aren't always vicious. They're not always mean. They're not always biting and attacking. I did one butt naked with bees. And I didn't get stung a single time in that video. I don't know how, because they were crawling up my thigh.
God.
You know where they're crawling.
Yeah, exactly. Holy naked with bees. Okay, I gotta watch that now.
But it is PG. I got a conveniently placed frame of bees, so you don't and boxes, so that I did the whole Austin Powers thing where you kind of like just set the thing in front of you as you move around.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that was something. That was an experience.
Man, okay. Now, give me one of the scariest shows you've ever done.
Scariest things that I've done?
Yeah.
I am afraid of heights.
Okay.
So,
you'll play with a damn
doesn't...
gaboom viper or that close to one. They can jump 4 feet off the ground, if not higher. But you're scared of heights.
They can move fast. Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that's rational. Here's the thing. Like, everybody has their fears, and I'm not like I get afraid of some of these other things too.
Yeah.
For some reason, alligators probably don't scare me as much as they should.
Mm-hmm.
They don't. For better or worse, that they don't. But the one thing that I've always been afraid of heights. So that's the kind of stuff I actually get the most thrill out of doing too, because skydiving was the scariest thing I could actually imagine. Not the alligators, not anacondas, not like jumping out of an airplane and falling from the sky at 130 miles an hour. That scared the hell out of me.
I bet. So you have done that.
Scared me to do it. Yeah, no, I've done that too.
Okay.
Yeah. I've but you know what? The cool thing about that is after you jump out of there and you're falling and the big thing was when my parachute opened and I'm like,
thank God.
It's open. You do feel like a badass when you do feel like a real badass like James Bond when you're you can fly yourself down and land, and you're on you're just that was one of the best rushes that I've had, but also scary. I rappelled off buildings and stuff like that where it's the same thing as height. It's not that it's more dangerous than, because fears can be really irrational. They can be, it's just what you're afraid of. That doesn't mean that it's the most dangerous thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, but I've kind of gotten a little bit over the heights thing. It's still there. So, I guess with animals, the scariest thing would be, I don't know. Those sharks were dicey.
Oh yeah, that's right. I watched some of that today too.
Did some shark diving, and it's weird having I've done that a couple times where there's there's 6 sharks in the water around you, and you don't, and you're baiting the water, right? You're chumming the water, and you're just getting them in that water, and that's a kind of weird thing. And then you never know. You can't watch them all at the same time. You know what I mean? They circle and stuff, and they can mistake your hand for a fish or nab it, and you're in the middle of the ocean.
Well,
you can bleed to death right there, and I mean there's dangerous stuff about that. But even the sharks too, again, are another animal where they're kind of vilified, on the Discovery Channel, and a lot of those kind of things where they make them meaner than they are.
Yeah.
But it's still dangerous, and any kind of shark can show up when you're in the water too. So,
well, the thing is,
that
with
would
the
probably
shark,
be the other one that's.
Go ahead.
No, so that's another one where, that's a little scary.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, with when you're on the land and alligators in the water, or if you're somewhere where a snake is, or just anything like that, you can get away. Well, I'll say you can get away, but you can turn and run. You're in your atmosphere. But when you're in the water with a shark in the middle of the ocean, you can't just
they
run
own
away.
you.
Exactly.
They own you. They're in charge, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's their element, and you're not in your element. So, I'd say with there was a video where I did walked into a pond of 70 alligators.
Yes,
I was a little nervous about that one too, because you don't know where they're at. It's kind of like a landmine.
Was that you and the other guy together? Is that the one you're talking about?
Now, that's Bob Freer. The guy, the guy with me is Bob Freer. He's the guy that taught me to alligator wrangle. He's down at the Everglades Outpost, and they call him the Gator Whisperer. He's. I wouldn't have done it if
he wasn't with you.
he hadn't believed in me to do it. But I was like, kind of, how far are we going to go down into this? And he's like, well, how far do you want to go?
That's right.
All right, let's do it. And one of those alligators did bite our stick, so they will bite.
Yeah.
It could have been a leg. But luckily, I still have all my legs.
Now, what about, have you been, let's say, I know you were in New Orleans, or Louisiana, rather, in the swamp.
Yeah.
Is there a difference between the nature of the alligators between, the Florida Keys maybe and Louisiana and Texas, and are they all pretty much the same?
Nah, alligators are alligators. They're pretty much the same. a lot of the alligators that I've worked with have been in rescues.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that with
So they're used to
alligators
people.
is no, they're not all used to people. A lot of them are nuisance alligators. They get caught because they're sometimes used to people is not a good thing with alligators because they're not afraid of you, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I will say on this podcast is like don't ever feed an alligator like in the wild because they get used to people and they're not afraid, and then they'll approach and then they'll either end up needing to be captured or put to death because they won't be afraid of humans. They'll be expecting food from you, and if you don't have food, well. But as far as alligators, like I mean, they're all pretty much the same. But the thing is, they're a lot smarter than you think. They're way smarter than you think. You can actually teach alligators to recognize their names. And you can actually teach them to recognize names. They can actually recognize colors.
Oh, okay.
So now that at the rescue up in Michigan, where that episode I did, I think we actually showed one of them a spot called by his name in that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, have you ever thought about
temperature? Temperature does affect alligators a lot. Now, if you're in a cooler environment or you're in a cooler day, alligators will be a lot less active. They'll be a lot less active. If you're warmer, you know, they're going to be a lot more active.
Okay. Any thoughts of going and wrangling a crocodile?
I'm sorry? Any
thoughts of going and wrangling a crocodile?
Oh, crocodile. Crocodiles they got some, I'm really go down the Steve Irwin route with that.
Exactly.
I would like to at some point. I'll probably start with like an American crocodile first because their personality is a little bit more, although I've seen those I get riled up. So, I'd love to. I haven't yet, but I'd love to. But there's also a lot more risk there. There's definitely a lot more risk there. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like Bobby Boucher said, his mama told him that he had all them teeth, and that's why they were ornery. But the alligator.
That's why they're hungry. That's why
they're so ornery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mad all the time. Let's see. So what kind of let's see here. What kind of music do you get? Do you go out and check stuff out?
What kind of music?
Yeah.
What kind of music am I into?
Yeah.
I like a lot of rock, blues. I just did a little trek where I don't know, it was a couple months ago. I was trekking across Mississippi and I followed the whole blues trail and did that thing.
I'm from Mississippi.
Down in Clarksdale, Mississippi, and all that stuff. Yeah. You're from Mississippi?
Yeah. From
okay.
I grew up in Pearl, Mississippi, right outside of Jackson.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Okay. So I trekked down through there and did some of that fun because I love music. I play the guitar. I do a little singing myself, and I just love music. So I've always been having that kind of component to my videos and stuff. Yeah. But and it's just for personal interest, So it's just, and so I did the whole Graceland thing. I did a whole tribute to did the whole go down there and pay my respects to Elvis, Yeah,
very cool.
And
you got to do that if you go through there.
So along the way on my videos and stuff, I mean, sometimes it's alligators. Sometimes there's musicians and stuff in it. I'm just featuring, doing a live stream, and I'm featuring, hey, this is somebody cool I saw playing on the street,
Oh yeah. Okay. And I'll have to check some of those out.
I have over 246 videos on Periscope.
Okay.
And that's actually, if you don't know what that is, that's Facebook's Twitter's basically live. Not Facebook. Twitter's live streaming app, and I have a ton of them that I've done live with all kinds of things. Some of them with our alligators, some of them are music related, and a lot of that stuff where I'm kind of trekking along and doing it on the fly, stuff like that, like in Clarksdale, stuff like things. But that was all on Periscope.
Okay.
So you can go check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, give everybody all your info and stuff. Check you out on Facebook, of course, is Wild Charles. Is that right? Okay, just at Wild Charles.
It's Wild Charles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can just search. You can just search for Wild Charles in the little search box on the top of Facebook, and you will find it. Up to that is a new show that I just started out there.
Okay.
We're up to about 60,000 followers on that now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's growing, and that's awesome. It's growing. Up to 300,000 on Twitter, and
nice. That's awesome.
Starting to post some other places and building up as many people as possible. So
now what is it?
Wild Charles, and you can also on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
My last name is Wieand. It's got a lot of vowels in it.
Yeah.
I will come up if you search for Wild Charles on Twitter too.
Okay. Okay, that's what I was wondering.
It'll say Charles Wieand.
Okay.
But it won't be the main name, but it will pull up my account, so you can find me that way.
Okay.
So that's probably the easiest way. Yep.
Now, what about you mentioned Periscope? How do you find that? Because I've never even heard of that.
Oh man, the easiest way is just go out my Twitter, because you'll see my Periscopes. They all post to my Twitter anyway.
Okay.
And you can actually go and click on it and create. Periscope will let you comment and ask questions and stuff. So, like, when I did the live stream with Chris Jericho from the WWE, like, that was on Periscope, where you can ask questions and all that stuff.
Awesome.
So you can go out there and do that. And,
okay.
But that's the best way to find me. I'm out there, Wild Charles. And if you type in, my last name is Wieand. It's got a W-I-E-A-N-D if you want to. If you want to try to spell, if you
W-I-E-A-N-D
in grade school.
All right. So where you going after you leave Texas? You going to Arizona, or I think you mentioned something about Mexico.
I am going all kinds of places. Where am I going? Right now I'm in Texas, and I've been in Texas for the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I left from Louisiana into Texas. So I got some videos out there in the Louisiana swamps. And then from here, I'm actually heading to a few more places in Texas. And then I'm going to be heading into New Mexico and Arizona for a bit.
Okay. You going to go into Old Mexico? Any?
In Mexico? Yeah, I'm probably going to spend a couple weeks in Mexico, too.
Okay.
But that's probably going to be... That may be on my reverse trip here, or maybe once I get out to southern Cali, because I'm also going out there. So, Mexico is probably a couple months, probably 2 months off still.
Oh, okay. All right. Very cool.
Maybe it's a month and a half off. It depends. So, the beauty of trekking across the country like this is that I have a lot of flexibility in terms of, if I see something cool and I want to make a video here, I stay and I do it, and I do it on my own pace. So, which is awesome, and it also allows me to be in a different place every day and make a lot of jokes about living in a van.
Hey, the van's very cool. I like it.
People love the van. I'm surprised. I'm surprised how many people come up to me and especially like they've come up to me like, man, I need a van like that. I'm like, this ain't no Lamborghini.
Well, especially with your 1970s Jaws shirt on, they got to love that, especially being on the beach.
There are a lot of things in my videos that are like references to other things, and even things that I do. A lot of what I do is like calling on other things that Jaws or memes or in that video with the pond of alligators, I'm wearing a Jurassic Park shirt.
Yes, I know. I saw that.
And living in a van. I'm a Chris Farley fan.
Definitely.
I'm a Dumb and Dumber fan. fan. Yeah. What other reason to trek across in a country in a goofy van? So, and I'm heading to Roswell. There's going to be some X-Files kind of stuff.
No way.
So, yeah, I'm always kind of dropping.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to be. That's an interesting one. That's a different one. I don't know if you saw the one that I did in New Orleans with the ghosts and
you know
the
what?
Queen.
I got to watch that, and I'm going to get my wife to watch it because she's
so
into all that stuff.
My show is really diverse, really diverse. It's wild and over the top. It could be wild ghost. It could be something like that, like, hey, we're hanging out with a voodoo queen, or it could be, hey, we're wrangling up some alligators. You just never know.
Exactly. Or we're watching this guy play the drums on the street, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's anything wild and
it's anything that catches your eye.
Really, it's anything really catches your eyes interesting. You know,
Yes.
it's you know, it's all the cool stuff in the world. That's what it's about. You know.
Well, that's awesome. I'm definitely going to be, you know, watching more stuff, keeping up with you, and spreading the word.
Cool.
Say.
Well, Britt, thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, no problem. Enjoyed
Great talking
it.
to you.
I learned some stuff that I'm definitely going to go and watch more, especially on the Periscope thing. So, let's see if there's anything else here. What you going there and there? You said you're going back to Albert's. I tell you what, I was going to say. You may want to try skydiving while wearing a rattlesnake necklace.
Well, if I wear a rattlesnake necklace, I need to get the I need to get the
add a whole nother level to
necklace thing from. Man, yeah, like.
Actually, let Albert go with you and let him jump and wear the necklace, the rattlesnake necklace. And,
I don't know if Albert would jump out of an airplane, though. I don't know if Albert would jump out of an airplane. That's the thing, though, because like his thing is snakes, but he doesn't mess with alligators. Really, he doesn't do alligators.
Oh my God. Well, I mean,
so,
they can.
Maybe he would. I don't know. Maybe we can convince him.
Okay, well, I definitely want to know about that one when it's coming out. So, but that'd be cool. All right. Well, Charles, I enjoyed it. We're talking with Wild Charles right now. He's on Facebook. He's on Twitter. Just look it up and check out his Periscope stuff on Twitter. And watch all his videos, and you will love him. He's an awesome guy. He does some crazy stuff. And as soon as I get off of here, I'm going to go watch the Butt Naked Bees. But so anyway, yes, y'all check him out. And Charles, I have enjoyed it. And usually I release these on Sundays, so I'll be getting this out on Sunday. Oh yeah, and by the way, I am leaving town tomorrow to go see Jack Russell's Great White and Warrant. So anyway, I'm going to go have fun for a night. And
awesome.
So,
awesome.
Yeah. If you ever get to check them out anywhere, you're in town and they're in town, go by and check them out. So, but Charles, enjoyed it, and we'll be keeping up with you and talking to you later on.
All right.
All right. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right. Bye. Well, hell yeah. That concludes this week's episode of Blevins Nation Podcast. I want to thank Charles Wieand, creator of Wild Charles, for being our guest. Check him out on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Of course, we are now on iTunes, Google Play, and Spotify. And the usual, BlevinsNation.com, Twitter and Facebook. Check back often and leave us some feedback. Later.
Everything's